Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Savannah Playford, the Director of Youth Ministry at Dixon United Methodist Church. Whenever you are watching this, welcome to today's daily devotion. Today I wanted to share with you an article that I recently found on umcdiscipleship.org. This article is all about Advent. Although it was posted way back in 2009, it definitely has some good information about Advent. I don't know about you, but I definitely go through the motions of the church and do things in Advent every year, like the Advent workshop, decorating the sanctuary, helping people in my community, but sometimes I forget what Advent is all about. Advent is a time of peace, hope, and joy. So in case you're like me and you forget what Advent's about, I wanted to share about it with you today. So first, let's talk about when is Advent. Well, Advent marks the beginning of the church year, kind of like New Year's, but for the church, and it begins on the fourth Sunday before Christmas Day and ends on Christmas Eve. So, what is Advent? Well, Advent comes from the Latin word adventus, meaning coming. It is a season for us to prepare for the coming of Christ and has multiple meanings. First, it's the promised coming of the Messiah to the Jews. Also, it is the coming of Jesus being born in Bethlehem, and also the promise of returning the risen Christ and the final victory, and most importantly, the continual coming of Christ into our lives and our hearts. So, where did this all start? Well, the tradition of Advent started in France in the 4th century. Originally, it was celebrated for 3, 4, or even up to 6 weeks at a time. That is a lot of time to prepare your heart and be in a place of peace and joy. Now, you may notice that there's also some colors that are typically associated with Advent. Typically, we associate the color purple with Advent, signifying penitence and royalty. But you also might see the color blue because that's signified as the color of hope. Now, Advent is not something that you're going to see posted around all of the shopping stores that you may go to this year. It's not going to be posted everywhere online. It's not really recognized in our culture, but as believers, it's important to take the time out of our day to stop and recognize it. So I encourage you to set aside some time to prepare your heart during the Advent season. Forget about all the Christmas gifts, the busyness of life. Just sit and prepare. Take a deep breath and prepare your heart for the coming of Jesus.